Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today as we dive into the latest, what has gone down. I think that's Pep Guardiola and he's had enough. I think. I mean, bloody, what was that? What was that? Bear in mind, I'm quite high up, so the fact that that was that loud and the windows are closed, I mean, wow. That was a raucous start to the video, but like I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted, we're going to get into the latest. But tomorrow, make sure you guys are here, because tomorrow there will be the preview for Everton versus Chelsea. But on top of that, we will be getting into the latest, the review in all the games that's going to go down tomorrow. So we got Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Can Man City, redeem themselves, or are they going to lose even more points away at Villa Park? I'll give reaction to that. Later on in the day, there's Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. Can Crystal Palace get themselves a win against Arsenal? You never know. We'll see. Anyway, and there's games in between. Brentford versus Nottingham Forest, Ipswich versus Newcastle, West Ham versus Brighton. That'll be an interesting one too. But reaction to that will come after the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal game, unless something cataclysmic happens in the Aston Villa City game, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get a video out. I might do that based on the result. But you'll hear from me tomorrow after all of these games, and you'll hear the preview for Everton versus Chelsea for Sunday. Now, let's get cracking. We're going to start off at Chelsea. We're going to start off at home before we head off away. What's the latest? Well, let's get into what Enzo Maresca has had to say, and he has clarified the situation with injuries, and it's not looking good, bruv, basically, for a certain couple of players. Here it is. Unfortunately, Badiashile and Fofana are still out, and both are still going to be out for a long period. João Felix and Noni Madueke both fine. Romeo Lavia will struggle to play Sunday. Right. So that's just an update basically on the injuries, what is going on. And we've been told by Maresca that Felix, Madueke are fine. So we're expecting them in the squad for Sunday. Lavia is on his way back, but he won't be there for Sunday. That's cool. However, Badiashile is out for a long time, and Fofana is out for a long time. Now, I don't know about you, right? But I'm going to put this out there because this is my honest opinion now based on how things have gone and my real feeling right now. I am putting Fofana in the same bracket as Reece James now. He's had way too many injuries, man. Way too many. I'm sorry. I mean, Fofana, every time he comes back, he's injured. Every single time. Every single time. And this was even before he joined Chelsea Football Club. This was an issue when he was at Leicester. We remember. This is when we brought Fofana, we knew we were getting a top centre-back, but we also, everyone, there's not one person I've not seen mention it, that didn't say, he's got a bit of an injury record, right? He's a bit injury prone, but he's a top defender, so we'll see what happens. His body's breaking down. That's as far as I see it. I'm sticking him in the same bracket as Reece James. I genuinely, as much as, just like Reece James, on his day, injury-free, if he was super consistent, he'd be the best right back in the world. I would probably say Fofana would turn out to be one of the best central defenders on the planet, without question. The body's just not going to allow it, though. So, the fact that he's out... I was expecting Fofana to make a quick return. Not quick, but quick enough. Just like we're starting to see Romeo Lavia make his way back, right? Fofana out for a long time again. I'm sorry, man. It's been 2 seasons that he's basically missed, right? Nearly missed completely. And this is going to be a third? Nah, do you know what I mean? I can't say anything else. It's unfortunate, but I can't say anything else. I feel like there's a reality check here. So that's Fofana. Badiashile is out for a long time, which has kind of surprised me. But I don't want to say, is that going to impact the team? I will say that the cover is there. But the expectation from Fofana was so much higher than Badiashile in terms of ability. So I feel like people would look at Badiashile and go, okay, it's not the end of the world. Whereas they'll look at Fofana and go, man, we had really high hopes for you. You know what I mean? So that's where I sit on it all. We'll wait and see what happens. But heading into Sunday, I think we know who's going to be in that centre-back pairing. Pretty obvious. Levi Colwill and Tosin. Basically, that's it. That's the centre-back pairing, isn't it? So I've given you an early preview to the preview. Now, players are going to be heading out, it seems. Here's what Maresca had to say. Unfortunately, I cannot say that Dewsbury Hall is not for sale. Not only about Kiernan, but the whole squad. When the window is open, anything can happen. You know what's mad? I love this. I actually love this. Everyone's on notice, yeah? You lot got to be performing. Whoever's not performing, you are in trouble. It's as simple as that. And you know what? I love that. I do like that. When you're selecting certain individuals, when you've put the whole squad on notice, I'm expecting a level. If you're not bringing that level, you are up for possible sale, yeah? I think it's fair. Now, who could be leaving? It's surprising but not surprising to hear about Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall was brought in because of Maresca. Now he's going to be sold potentially because of Maresca. We knew Dewsbury Hall was a signing that was made, I think, my opinion here, the way that I try to read in between the lines, is to try and help adapt the rest of the squad to what Maresca demands and his style of play. Because he played under Maresca at Leicester. Now, the problem there is everyone adapted pretty quickly. So if he was brought in for that, it's like making someone redundant after basically 2 months. You're no longer needed. We thought you'd be needed, but you're not needed. He's basically the Christopher Vivell of the players. That's what happened. Sorry, there's no role for you now here when you're not needed. I honestly, because Dewsbury Hall in terms of ability, I think there is a gap, a substantial gap between him and, say, Enzo Caicedo. There's a substantial gap. So I genuinely believe he was brought in just to aid Maresca's arrival. But Maresca's not needed any help. And all the players have kind of clicked onto what he wants pretty quickly. So that's that. Now, who else can leave? Here it is. Fabrizio saying Carney Chukwuemeka, Ben Chilwell, but also Cesare Casadei, also planning to leave Chelsea in January. Serie A remains the most likely destination for Casadei, with several clubs keen on signing him. More to follow soon. Now, we have to bear in mind here, all of these could be permanent, not loans. You'd think Chukwuemeka may be going out on a loan. I think he's going permanently. Chilwell, we know, is leaving permanently. And Casadei, there was talk about loan. Turns out, it could be permanent too. Truth of the matter is, there's no space. It's as simple as that. For Chukwuemeka, there was the possibility of him coming in, but the impact of Cole Palmer has just absolutely overshadowed everything. Everything. Even João Felix is struggling because of Cole Palmer, right? Chukwuemeka stands no chance. As good as he is and can be. We know this. And injuries was very unfortunate for him. But managers changed, things have changed, and Cole Palmer has blown up to the point where people are expecting Ballon d'Ors from him soon. There's no space. And in midfield, if we're talking Casadei, for example, in his development, even you could make the case, okay, Enzo and Caicedo are rested. Who's going to play? Dewsbury Hall? Well, we have a certain player over there on the other side of the channel, right, called Andre Santos, who right now is killing it so much that I'm tempted to have him in the Chelsea team now. But who are you dropping? He's playing incredible over at Strasbourg. Incredible. So, again, no space. And Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell's just vibes at this point, which is a shame because I don't think Ben Chilwell is as poor as some people are making him out to be, right? But there is the element of uncertainty with him. You know, there's uncertainty in terms of level. There's uncertainty in terms of him carrying out instruction. We've heard about him at the training ground not being able to adapt to certain details. His in-game performances when he was playing, you could see that sometimes there'd be frustration. He would be making some silly errors. Some really good games, then some games where it's just like, mate, are you switched on? Like, just that. It's not even a case of, he's struggling physically. Or, no, it's just, are you concentrating, mate? Like, and that's maybe something that Maresca is not ignoring, and he's just not in the plans, and it's as simple as that. So if he's not in the plans, he's not in the plans. What can I say? So those players could all be leaving. So let me know your thoughts on those. Now, talking about players leaving, Chelsea have set a certain level now, right? When it comes to expectation from the entire squad. First team squad and the academy squad. What is it? Anyone over the age of 18. This applies to you. Chelsea have also now made it their policy that all first team and academy players aged 18 upwards who have under 2 years left on their contracts must come to an agreement with the club on their future or face being sold. This, I think, is just logical, right? For everyone to agree that it's a good and necessary thing to do for the club. There's nothing else that you can really add, you know? This is just safeguarding your asset. From a business perspective, you're safeguarding yourselves. It makes sense. Especially now. Because now you leave players to the certain level. You leave them to the last year of their contracts, and all of a sudden they've got all the bargaining power. Yeah, as a football club, you have basically no say. They're going to do what they want, or they're going to leave for free. You know, and this is what we faced with Mason Mount. Most recently, the whole Conor Gallagher situation. Remember, I was here saying I believe Conor Gallagher has so much power here because he could easily just run down the length of his contract and go, I'm not going anywhere. End of story. Tough. Deal with it. And this is just it. Now, Chelsea have put a safeguard in place going, if you've not come to an agreement, right, by a certain time period and you've got less than 2 years on your contract, you could be sold. And that's been made known to everyone. And I think that's going to be a thing. If it's not already, to put into contracts, that's going to be put into pen and paper, without question. You best believe anyone joining the club from now on, or people that are signing contract extensions, or if they've already not done it yet, guarantee in there, it's going to have a thing. Once it reaches the last 2 years of your contract, you need to negotiate or you need to be sold. One of them. And the players will have to go, okay, I'll sign. You know, and this is just safeguarding the club and its assets, and it makes complete sense. So from a club perspective, I think it's the right thing to do. So that's pretty clear. On to the next thing that Simon Johnson's put. Key to the turnaround was the lobbying of Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, Joe Shields, plus technical director of Chelsea's academy, Glenn van der Kraan. Maresca also called a meeting with Achiampong to assure him he would play under him. Now, this in relation to how Chelsea and Achiampong came to an agreement. And yeah, it did seem like Enzo Maresca, Joe Shields had big input in this. But on top of that, the sporting directors and the technical director of Chelsea's academy, who is quite new, right? We remember when Glenn van der Kraan joined, and it wasn't too long ago, all had input and influence in getting a deal done, basically. Maresca called a meeting with Achiampong to assure him he would play. And this is the thing. I think there's going to be a lot of pathway... what's the word that I'm looking for here? Clarification. That's what I'm looking for. Clarity. And we saw this yesterday in the video that was shown of Maresca at the training ground at Cobham in the dressing room with the entire squad and giving Achiampong and Tyreek George their new lockers, their new, you're now part of the first team squad. And his speech, that was about a minute and a half long, basically talking about the pathway of academy players coming into the squad and the role that the senior players need to play once these young players have come into the squad. I mean, it was a beautiful speech. But you could see he really acknowledges the importance of the academy and the players that are coming through. And I have no doubt that Maresca puts in place clarity, right? Comfort for the players to know you've got a pathway. You just have to be good enough. And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. So, again, this deal being done, fair play to every single person involved, and fair play to Achiempong for actually signing at the end of the day, which means that, yeah, he pretty much has nailed on his future at Chelsea Football Club, and it's come at a good time. So let me know your thoughts down below. Last Chelsea thing before we move to a couple of other stories elsewhere, this little teaser from Footy Headlines, and boy, do I love it. There's the old Chelsea badge, CFC. It's the old Nike logo and the total 90 symbol. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. And those colours signify, I think this is going to be a training kit. I think we're going to get a total 90 Nike Chelsea training kit that looks retro. The old Chelsea badge, the old total 90 logo, this is going to hit. Let me tell you now, and I've said this before, as an Adidas man, right? As a Predator man, I wasn't a fan of the Vapor, yeah? I wasn't wearing Vapors. You know, I wasn't wearing Mercurials. I wasn't even wearing F50s. If you remember F50s, the F50 boots. Yeah, I was a Predator guy. Yeah, I loved Predator. I loved what Adidas were doing. And F50s are kind of like my second choice, just in case if I ever could not get a Predator. But I respected the legacy of Total 90. Total 90 with Nike was outstanding at the time, and the marketing that they were doing at the time was crazy. Do you remember the Joga Bonito adverts? Oh my God, I could do a video on that. The Brazil-Portugal Joga Bonito advert, Luis Figo, Ronaldinho, oh man, Roberto Carlos, ball goes out the stadium, gets kicked back in, oh man, have a day off. Football's goated. But listen, Total 90 has such a legacy, yeah, that it's mad to see that we're going to be basically bringing it back. And I think this is going to hit. I'm looking forward to this. Nike, for the first time, have got me excited. For the first time. And it's no shock, is it? While Chelsea are doing well. It's amazing what results can bring, isn't it? When you're getting results, it's amazing what it can bring. And we're talking about the front of shirt sponsor as well. I mean, this was like news of 2 days ago, so I'm not going to go over it now. But Mercedes-Benz, Qatar Airways, Saudi Airways, Riyadh Airways. Who else? I think there's someone else. But all of them are now willing to pay. All of them happy to pay. Yeah, 20 million for the rest of the year, no problem. 60 million if you get Champions League football, no problem. We'd be amongst the highest earners in terms of sponsorship immediately, just because we're playing Champions League football. The pool. But we're getting results. It makes no surprise, basically. So, fantastic. Overall, absolutely fantastic. That's the latest on Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts. Now, we move elsewhere. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good for anybody, except Liverpool. Here's Man United. Mason Mount is set to be out for several weeks, says Man United boss Ruben Amorim. Adds he doesn't know the exact date, but Mount will be out for long. Listen, I'll say this. If he was a Chelsea player and he was getting injured like this, I would be putting him in the same bracket as Reece James and now Fofana immediately. Actually, Mason Mount would have been done a while ago. He's finished. Respectfully, I think he's finished. I think his body has broken. And there's no surprise. You see how these players' bodies are breaking down at this age. It's insane. But it happens to English players a lot. Why? I honestly think we try and do too much to them too soon. At 17, they're already flipping, running at elite levels, and they shouldn't be. They just shouldn't be. You know what I mean? And it happens a lot with the English players. You overhype them. You make them look like flipping stars. At 19, they think they're it. And then by 23, 24, they're finished because their bodies have broken down. It needs to stop. It happened since Michael Owen, and it's not stopped since then. This is a consequence of that. I truly believe it. Mason Mount, I mean, look, on Chelsea's part, fantastic business. We let go of him basically at an all-time high. You know how like Bitcoin and all that is like he reaching all-time highs? Yeah, we sold Mount at an all-time high. That price will never be hit again. We got him gone at the perfect moment, financially. And United have absolutely been robbed. But I don't care. Personally, I don't. But anyway, as a neutral, I'm just saying, on a footballing level, I mean, yeah, for him, it's unfortunate. right? In the same way that it is for Reece James, in the same way that now I'm saying for Fofana potentially. It's unfortunate. But Man United have done horrific business with this. Horrific. So it is what it is. Now, let's move. Let me know your thoughts down below. Liverpool. Alphonso Davies is open to a potential transfer away from Bayern Munich to Liverpool. Yo, listen, I'm not going to lie. This would be a mad transfer. That would be insane. It'd be a lot of money. Don't get me twisted. In terms of salary, but I think Liverpool can pull that off. Robertson, to the bench you go, mate, basically, because if Alphonso, and you know what, I think Alphonso Davies would suit Liverpool's way of playing so much, man. It's just, I think he would have suited Klopp. Oh my God. The pace, the rock and roll, Alphonso Davies bombing up and down at 860 miles an hour. Oh my God, man, it'd be ridiculous. Klopp would, Klopp would faint. It would be mad. But anyway, I think he'd suit them. I hope it doesn't happen. I'll be honest, I hope it doesn't happen. But that would be an outrageous, good upgrade for Liverpool. So, and not taking anything away from Robertson, great left back, but this would be next level. So that's that. Let me know your thoughts on that. Will it happen? It's a possibility, you know, because Bayern Munich are a little bit. They've dropped their levels, it seems. So it is what it is. But we'll see what happens in the summer. It won't be for January. No chance. But for the summer, I think so. Possibility. Manchester City. Man City will be very active in the January transfer window. It could be 2-3 signings. Midfielder, fullback and striker. These positions could be covered. Bloody hell. It's amazing. City's solution is just to go to the transfer market. I know. Some of you are going to be like, hang on, you're a Chelsea fan. Can you even talk? No, I can't. I can't, right? But you heard Pep Guardiola earlier on in that press conference. He's just ruled them out of the title race. Funnily enough, he's gone. There's no chance. The players that we have doesn't allow it. He's basically just shut down the resources that he has. It would be very Man City to just dive into the transfer market and just start buying players. But it actually kind of baffles me why they're going. I mean, yeah, midfielder, fullback and striker. Midfielder I completely get, because when Rodri disappears, that midfield is lacking something mad, and KDB is not the same. The fullback, I get it, because Kyle Walker is not top level anymore, really, is he? Clearly. A striker, is that necessary? Is that just because of Alvarez, maybe, who left? Like, they need to really replace him because they've only got Erling Haaland? Yeah, potentially, maybe a new option. But it's amazing that the solution is just, let's just go into the January market. It's not going to be a good market. My prediction, this January market will not be. When I say good market, I mean, you know, big names moving, no chance. No one's going anywhere. January market is going to be a chance to scout talent, and that's it. You know, undiscovered gems, perhaps. That is it. No one else is moving. So I don't know what Man City are going to do. They're just going to have to wait till the summer. This season's written off for them. It's as simple as that. Game over. And Pep looks like he's going through it. If you see the press conference from earlier on, he looks, I don't want to say depressed, because that's another level, right? But he doesn't look good. And I got to be honest, I think City's downfall is only going to continue. Maybe not as severe, but they're still going to struggle. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Do not forget, hit the subscribe button, notification bell on for the couple of videos that are dropping tomorrow. Double upload day it is tomorrow because of all the reaction and the preview for Everton Chelsea, as well as all the socials. Make sure you're following all of them on screen. They are all in the description, so click away and follow. Much appreciated. And I'll see all of you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.